Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
Folks, this is it. It's an amazing, amazing day. I'm not generally the anxious or nervous type, but I didn't sleep too well last night. Actually, I don't want to say I didn't sleep too well. I slept okay. My Oura Ring gave me a decent sleep score last night. But today's probably, outside of my marriage and birth of my children, probably the biggest day of my life. Many of you have been on this journey with me for a really, really long time. Producer Joe, my wife, my family. Today launches the national radio show, the Dan Bongino Show, right after this podcast with your host, me, shockingly named Dan Bongino. And it's really an incredible feeling. I'll get into more of that, and we'll talk about that a little bit in the beginning of the show. But I do have a lot of really incredible news. As we said, the podcast isn't going anywhere that we do need to get to, including, I hate to I hate hyperbole, but an explosive, is that the way to describe it? Incredible, groundbreaking story in the Wall Street Journal about the Wuhan virus. Should be plastered on the front page of every newspaper in America. Today's show brought to you by ExpressVPN. Why haven't you gotten a VPN yet? Protect your data. Get a VPN. Go to expressvpn.com/Bongino. Welcome to the Dan Bongino Show on this fine Monday. I got that. I've also got, hopefully at the end, a Ron DeSantis Strikes Again segment, which is going to be awesome. And again, the Alinsky rules are back. Don't miss the show. Today's show brought to you by Genucel. Ladies and gentlemen, summer's only a couple of weeks away. It's time to celebrate longer days and fun in the sun. You deserve it. And right now, Chamonix celebrating with a sale that you deserve. During Genucel's summer blowout, get the brand new Zotique Deep Correcting Serum absolutely free with your order. Here's Bobby from Fresno, California. 3 days before my doctor's appointment, I started using Zotique. What have you changed? Your skin looks great. I told her, the doctor asked, and she responded. It's truly a miracle worker. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. And for a limited time, every Genucel order includes the Genucel Jawline Treatment and legendary Genucel XV Anti-Wrinkle Moisturizer, also free. Huge favorite in my house with my wife and mother-in-law, if you ever wonder how they look so amazing every day. 3 free gifts when you order Genucel today. Give your skin the best skincare money can buy and look 10, 15, even 20 years younger. Chamonix promises you'll see results within 12 hours, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to Genucel.com. Enter my special discount code DAN40, that's DAN40, for an additional $40 off your order plus free gifts today. Don't wait. Go to Genucel.com, Genucel.com, that's GENUCEL.com. All right, Joe, let's go.
Here we go.
Joe's very excited on this Monday. Joe has been an integral part of this journey for a very long time.
Thank you, sir.
Being there in my basement from episode 1 when we recorded in the back of my Severna Park house in a coffin-like basement with moving blankets on the wall and a crappy microphone he drilled into my desk. And now look at what happened. We're here. And look who we got on our first show today. See this article by Kip Jones of Western Journal. Be in my newsletter today, Bongino.com/newsletter. Donald Trump to appear on powerful debut episode of Bongino Show as former Secret Service agent steps in to fill Limbaugh's time slot. Folks, as I said before, and I'll say again, I don't want to spend too much time on this because we'll hear a lot of it on the radio show today at 12 noon Eastern time. There's no replacing Rush Limbaugh. It's not going to happen. Rush was an icon, a legend, a titan of the industry. There aren't enough adjectives to describe what Rush Limbaugh did for the movement, what Rush Limbaugh did for me personally, and for the millions of people that listen to this podcast. He changed the game. He didn't change the game. Let me check that. He invented the game. National conservative talk radio was invented by Rush Limbaugh. He created the whole game. I have this job because of greats like him. It is an amazing honor to take the spot previously occupied by Rush, who we lost too soon. And I genuinely hope you will tune in every day, just like you've made this podcast part of your routine. Make the radio show part of your routine as well, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern time every single day. It would be a great honor. Check your radio stations. Go to Bongino.com as well if you want to find the station near you. You can also listen there. Thank you for everything. All right, now getting to the news. Just sorry, folks. It's obviously been a very emotional ride here from when they asked me to take this position to now. It's almost like you never think it's going to happen, and now the day is upon us. So there was a really incredible article that came out this weekend, which I'm going to get to in a minute, in the Wall Street Journal, which blows the doors off of the origins of the Wuhan coronavirus. Now, folks, the story exposes a pernicious danger in our society. It's a danger of groupthink. Now, even children know better and know the dangers of groupthink, don't they? Have any of you ever read the fairy tale or heard of the fairy tale, about the emperor having no clothes? That's a cautionary tale directed at kids. Yes, kids, about the dangers of groupthink. The emperor runs down the street with no clothes on, but everyone around him tells him, Mr. Emperor, those clothes you have on look so beautiful. He has no clothes on, of course, that he walks around knowing full well he's naked, believing the groupthink because everybody tells him how beautiful he looks without no clothes on, except he has no clothes on. And then finally, as everybody's cheering, look at the emperor's clothes. They're so beautiful and wonderful. One person says, I think he's naked. And everybody's like, holy Moses, dude has no clothes on. What's that thing? That's not a leg. He's naked. How is it that children's fairy tales have warned us about the dangers of groupthink, and yet liberals, the media, the fact checkers, social media, and government swampatopians have still not figured out that groupthink is going to get us killed? Do you remember the movie World War Z? One of my favorites. I like zombie movies. I don't know why. My wife and I both, we don't have a ton in common entertainment-wise, like stuff we like, but that zombie movie's simpatico. Remember World War Z? The Brad Pitt character who's going to research around the world, the zombie apocalypse upon them. He goes to Israel and they talk about the 10th man. You ever see that scene? The guy in the car, Brad Pitt says to the guy in Israel who knew there were going to be a zombie apocalypse when no one else around the world did. He said, well, how did you know? And he said, because we do this thing called the 10th man. Well, whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But it's a good scene in the movie. And Brad Pitt says, well, what's the 10th man? And he says, we have this group of 10 people. And if all 9 agree that something, A is A and B is B, the 10th man has to find a way to disagree and tell you A is B and B is A. Genius, right? The 10th man has to tell you, regardless if he believes it or not, has to make the other case. And the 10th man, apparently, in the World War Z movie, was the one guy out of 10 who said to the rest of the group, I think this zombie thing is real. When in the movie, at least, it was. Ladies and gentlemen, groupthink will get you killed. I know this from my prior line of work. Again, in the Secret Service, where staff members, not Secret Service agents, would say all the time, they would say things like, I can't tell you how many times we'd be over in a foreign advance in a very dangerous foreign country, and a staffer who didn't want to be bothered with all the security because they thought it looked bad around the president would say something like, oh, that's not going to happen. That's not your job to say it's not going to happen. That's our job in the Secret Service to say crazy stuff happens all the time, and that's why we're here, to make sure the crazy stuff doesn't happen. We were always the 10th man. Where's the 10th man now? You know who used to be the 10th man? Think about it. Come on. You got this. Who used to be the 10th man? The media. The media. The media are supposed to be the people asking questions, aren't they? Questioning the truth to make sure it's the truth. Aren't the media supposed to be the ones on the parade route with the emperor going, that guy's naked. That's not a leg right there. Aren't they supposed to do that? The media not only are they not the 10th man, the media are man 1 through 9 now mocking the 10th man. When people dare to ask questions, Republicans, conservatives, people like us, it's the media who are now full-time propagandists who are now mocking the 10th man and I mean, are full-time purveyors of groupthink. Their job was to be the 10th man. They're now laughing at the 10th man. You doubt me? Watch this disastrous clip from the hilariously titled show, Reliable Sources, with clown George Costanza, otherwise known as Brian Stelter. Reliable. Who thought to name this numbnuts' show Reliable Sources is beyond me. Coffee fetcher who wound up on TV somehow with zero life experience at all outside of being a loser. Watch this disaster on his show where him, Stelter, and a guy by the name of Perry Bacon engage in the, I'm not kidding, some of the most epic gaslighting I have ever seen in my life, blaming their failure to be the 10th man on Republicans who were the 10th man. Check this out.
You said the state of American democracy is, well, it's even worse than you think. So how should the reality-based press cover an alternative reality GOP?
Honestly. I mean, I think that's the key important thing here is cover it honestly. I think we've had this view for a long time, and journalism should be not aligned with either party, but I think we've interpreted it to mean journalism should be equally distant between the two parties, and I think that's not realistic. Journalism has a bias for facts, evidence, truth. And if like half of the voters in one party and a lot of the elected officials in a party are not being truthful, journalists are going to cover that and look like they're covering that party more negatively. So in this environment, we have to prioritize. We have to be pro-truth, pro-democracy, pro-evidence, and I think that's going to make it look like we're pro-democratic. But I think we should be pro-democratic, small d, not pro-democratic, capital D.
Joe, I'm sorry. That's you have Muttley. That's a minimum of 2 months. That's not even like, that's a double Muttley at minimum. Can we please, do you have the Muttley, please? One, at least another one, at minimum. Is that real? Even Guy said this morning, he comes in and we're chatting before the show. I'm not coordinated. Keep in mind, Guy's been here for a little while now. I kind of know, but Joe's been here forever. So Joe gets the jokes because we invented them together. Joe knows the joke about reliable sources. Like Brian Stelter's show is called Reliable Sources. Guy doesn't even know the joke. And Guy came in this morning, not kidding. And he goes, Dan, don't you think it's funny? Brian Stelter's show is called Reliable Sources. Joe, me and Joe been telling that joke forever. Yeah. Guy doesn't even know. And even he thinks it's funny. Brian Stelter, who says that, quote, what do we do when the reality-based media has to deal with these big hoaxers in the GOP? This is epic level gaslighting. This is from the guy on a show called Reliable Sources, where they pumped the collusion hoax, the PP tape, they debunked the Spygate thing, even though it was real. They talked about the Russian bounty story, fake. The Mike Flynn story, fake. Remember the polls story about the polls? Remember that one? Donald Trump's down by 72 points in swing states. That was on their show, all those polls. The Wuhan lab theory. Oh, no, that's a conspiracy theory. It came from the Wuhan lab. This was all, quote, debunked on a show called Reliable Sources, where all of it turned out to be probably true, if not true, in many of these cases, collusion, Spygate, the other ones. Reliable Sources. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's so funny. He didn't even know. He's like, Dan, don't you think that's funny? I didn't even want to tell him he was going to be part of the show today because he doesn't even know he was going to be part of the show when he said that. Reliable Sources. Folks, on a serious note, groupthink will get you killed. Groupthink will get you killed. You know, one of the things we used to do in my prior line of work, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring it up a lot. I know sometimes I can, but sometimes it's relevant to the story. If we make a mistake in what we did in the Secret Service, the president could die, could be seriously hurt, and it would change the course of human history. That's a fact. So we would do these hot washes and these little aftermath reports, after action reports, I should say. Aftermath, like it's a Dr. Dre Suge Knight thing. But we do these after-action reports where everybody would have to report on what they saw on a visit. You'd put it in, and they would put these after-action reports out. And they were troubling a lot because even when everything went perfect, there were always little snafus. And one of them I remember specifically, one guy on an advance, he put the sandbags that hold the bike racks down. You know the bike rack when your president's on a rope line, they put that metal bike rack. One of the guys put the sandbags to hold the bike rack down so it doesn't fall over. Weights them, obviously. Put them on the wrong side. The side the president was on. They're supposed to be on the other side because why? When the president walks the rope, he was tripping over the sandbags. Now, those things are embarrassing. They're not huge disasters, but if the president falls and cracks his skull, it could be. And that goes out and everybody looks at it and everybody go, oh my gosh, who did that? And the point is, too bad. We all had to look at our own work. And even though it hurts your feelings to have something that went wrong in your site, to have everyone on the president's details see it in this after-action report, you know what happened, folks? We all learned from it. And we all became harder, better seasoned agents when we learned not to do it again. I assure you, after that, nobody put the damn sandbags on the wrong side of the bike rack. Because we weren't snowflakes. Where's the media? You would think George Costanza here on Reliable Sources would be analyzing why they got every major story of the Trump era wrong. Russian bounties, collusion, PP-gate, Spygate, Flynn, polls, Wuhan lab. No, not at all. Costanza wants to focus on how he's reality-based and how the GOP, who called him out on it, people like me, how we're the problem. Costanza's supposed to be the 10th man. However, he's really the loudest 9th man, screaming at the truth teller in the room. You're conspiracy theorist. But Brian, what you're saying is wrong. You're a conspiracy theorist. Go get me coffee, Brian. That's all you're good at. Go get my coffee. Now, what story am I referencing? Well, I'm going to get to this. Let me get to this in a minute. Let me get to my second sponsor. I'm going to tell you about the actual story and how groupthink is getting us killed because now things we've been warning about for a couple of years, hey, maybe this thing leaked from a lab, is all of a sudden looking like that's what happened. Today's show brought to you by Blue Blocks, my new favorite product. Listen, if you're a listener of my show, right, like sleep and me are not buddies. So someone pitched this. I know the dangers of blue light at night. It gets in your eyes, and it prevents a lot of those chemicals that make you sleepy from being produced. Well, if blue light prevents chemicals from making you sleepy from being produced, you probably want less blue light at night. And I thought, how do I do that? So I was shutting off the blue light stuff on my phone, and none of it was working. And then I found Blue Blocks. This is my actual pair. I wear these before I go on at Fox at night, too, because of these bright lights in my face. And, folks, I'm telling you, only put them on at night. They're Sleep Plus when you're ready to go to bed because they will knock you on your caboose. You will sleep like a baby with these bad boys. My sleep quality's gone through the roof. My favorites are the Sleep Plus glasses. I wear them 2-3 hours before I go to bed to help create more sleep hormones to aid with better sleep. I can prove it. This Aura thing that measures your sleep, whenever I wear these things, deep sleep, I rock it. Whenever I don't, I sleep lightly. It's bad. You got to put these things on. They're great. Blue Blocks is made in optics laboratories in Australia. They're not mass-produced in factories in Asia. They have stylish frames with science-backed technology. They're tested to ensure they work, unlike other blue light glass companies. Don't buy any cheapos. These are worth the money. These are the real deal. I told you, since wearing these glasses, my sleep's been incredible. I'm waking up ready to crush the gym at 5 in the morning. They come in non-prescription, prescription, and reading options. Fine glasses for every need. But I'm telling you, send me your email feedback on this. I'm not messing with you. These things are no joke. They help with eye strain. They have summer glow glasses for helping with low mood and migraines, and Sleep Plus, which I have, for improving your sleep. Blue Blocks also has other amazing products such as low blue light bulbs and red light therapy devices and 100% blackout sleep masks, all backed by science. Blue Blocks ships worldwide in rapid time. And 100%, they have easy returns and exchanges. Go to Blue Blocks, that's BLUBLOX.com/Bongino. Use coupon code Bongino to save 15%. That's blueblocks.com/Bongino. Use coupon code Bongino to save 15%. I'm not messing with you. These things are really good. I only take on sponsors I like. I appreciate your patience. Sponsors pay for the show. It's a great product. blueblocks.com/Bongino. All right, so getting back to this article. Explosive new details emerge, and I'm saying new because they're not actually new. They're just new now because somebody's finally waking up and going, hey, that's not a leg on the emperor. I think he's not wearing clothes. There's a 10th man saying it. While all 9 were screaming, what beautiful clothes on the emperor. Someone's finally ready to speak the truth. Exploding the groupthink narrative. Look at this story by the Wall Street Journal. Folks, if there's one thing you need to read today, it's this. I don't usually put Wall Street Journal articles in my newsletter because it's subscription only, many of them. This is worth your time, though. Go to Bongino.com/newsletter. I think it's the second story down from the top. Wall Street Journal, headline. Intelligence on the 6 staff at the Wuhan lab fuels debate on COVID-19's origin. A report says researchers went to the hospital in November of 2019, shortly before the confirmed outbreak, adding to calls for a probe of whether the virus escaped this lab in Wuhan. Ladies and gentlemen, this story is infuriating. You should all have goosebumps right now saying to yourself, but Dan, this isn't a new story. We've suspected that the Wuhan coronavirus originated from the Wuhan lab for a very long time, and all we were asking for was an investigation. Yes, but you had Brian Stelter and the 9th man in the way, like Brian Costanza, who in between bouts of getting coffee was yelling at everyone not to look at stuff like that because he's a group thinker. This is an infuriating story. And it exposes the deadly symbiotic organism that is liberals, what unfortunately many in the intelligence community, not all, but many, the media, and the social media fact checkers. This 4-person symbiote, the Eddie Brock Venom symbiote kind of thing with 2 more creatures or 2 more thrown in, almost did Al Gore math there, with 2 more creatures thrown in, is the deadliest thing. And I'm not kidding. They are going to get someone killed. Whether it's the defenestration of our military, lying to people, crushing their jobs, people are killing themselves, people's lives are being ruined, or whether it's hiding for the Chinese government the origin of a virus that has killed hundreds of thousands of people. This symbiote of liberals, the media, the people, sadly, and the intelligence community, and fact checkers, social media, will get someone killed. That is not a joke. Here's screenshot number 1 from this incredible piece. 3 researchers from China's Wuhan Institute of Virology became sick enough in November of 2019 that they sought hospital care, according to a previously undisclosed U.S. intelligence report, that could add weight to the growing calls for a fuller probe of whether the COVID-19 virus may have escaped from the laboratory. Wait, what? So Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, people on this staff, people in the conservative ecosystem that for now, almost a year now, have been saying, well, not a year, 6 months, I don't want to be dramatic, have been saying, hey, something's up here. We should really look at where this virus came from. We were all laughed at and mocked by the coffee boy at CNN, reliable sources clown. And now all of a sudden, now that hundreds of thousands of people died, there was an intelligence report out there that somehow got left out of this saying, hey, people from a Wuhan lab where they investigate coronaviruses may have gotten sick with a strange virus right around the Wuhan coronavirus time, right around the time the epidemic broke. This is just coming out now. And Coffee Boy thinks it's funny. He thinks this whole thing is hilarious, that the GOP making fun of, let's just make fun of the GOP, even though they warned us. Infuriating. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just the liberal intel community, media, fact check symbiote. The swamp is real too. What do I say about the swamp? Listen, I worked with intelligence officials from a lot of 3-letter agencies. And the guys and the women I worked with We're patriots and love this country. But I'm telling you, the top levels of our intelligence community are polluted, whether it's the FBI or the intelligence agencies, with people who raised their right hand and swore an oath to the Constitution and didn't mean a word of it. What they meant was they wanted to swear an oath to a political party. It is polluted with people like this who need to find a new line of work. Stat. This intelligence was out there. You doubt me? Down further in the Wall Street Journal report. Quote, another person described the intelligence as stronger. Quote, the information that we had coming from the various sources was of exquisite quality. It was very precise. What it didn't tell you was exactly why they got sick, he said, referring to the researchers in the Wuhan lab. So we had intelligence of, quote, exquisite quality that researchers in a lab investigating bat coronaviruses got sick around the time the Wuhan coronavirus broke out and became a worldwide pandemic. And yet Coffee Boy and other media people were telling us, it's a conspiracy theory. While we were the 10th man out there. These people are going to get you killed. I am not kidding. These people are going to get you killed. Just to sum up quickly before I get to the third screenshot here, how not only are Coffee Boy and others promoting conspiracy theories while blaming others for conspiracy theories, amazingly, the most epic gaslighting I've ever seen. They're also promoting propaganda from enemies of the United States that would have you dead tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to sum this up quickly here. Because Coffee Boy and others will say, Dan, we had no way of knowing or suspecting that this thing leaked from a Chinese lab. No, you did. I wrote it down just to be sure we all got this straight. And if I'm wrong, Joe Gee, please call me out on any of this. When this thing broke, we knew a couple of things. We knew the outbreak began in the fall of the Wuhan coronavirus. When researchers on this coronavirus, now we know, got sick in a lab investigating coronaviruses in Wuhan. We know the lab was located in Wuhan, where the virus began. We know the lab was working on gain of function to make bat coronaviruses more infectious. We know the roads were closed afterwards. So a lab in China where an outbreak originated of coronavirus was investigating coronaviruses and making them more infectious while people from the lab got sick and the roads were closed in the lab right around November afterwards. Am I getting any of that wrong? Anyone? My show fact checkers. I'm getting ahead.
Good.
Joe, anything from you?
You're good.
Okay, thank you. I'm good. Joe says I'm good. This is good. Okay, we're all good, folks. And yet Coffee Boy and others were like, it's a conspiracy theory. Tell me again why we're supposed to take these people seriously. Please explain to me one last time why we're supposed to take these people seriously. I'd love to know. Not a joke. It's very upsetting. Again, sarcasm sometimes takes the edge off the show, but this is not a joke. This isn't funny. People died. A lot of people died. My wife's best friend lost her stepfather. I mean, we all know people who've lost people to this. But not only were these people in the media, liberal intelligentsia, top levels of the intel community, and fact checkers and fake book and others in on this, they were actively promoting Chinese propaganda. You doubt me? Wake up. Reminds me of Vanilla Sky. Remember when they're shaking Tom Cruise? Wake up. Wake up. Here's the last part of the Wall Street Journal article. how Coffee Boy and others were promoting Chinese propaganda. China has repeatedly denied that the virus escaped from one of its labs. You think? On Sunday, China's foreign ministry cited a WHO-led team's conclusions after a visit to the Wuhan Institute of Virology in February that a lab leak was extremely unlikely. Quote, the U.S. continues to hype the lab leak theory, the foreign ministry said in response to a request by the Wall Street Journal. Is it actually concerned about tracing the source or trying to divert attention? Shocking absolutely no one, the Chinese Communist Party and the killers over there don't want it getting out there that this may have leaked from a lab after gain-of-function experiments. So what do? They use Coffee Boy and the U.S. media to crush the 10th man every time. A lot of excitement today. Let me get to my third sponsor. Again, I appreciate your patience, folks. Keeps the show free, and these are great sponsors. But on the other side of this, I want to show you again how the media is not interested anymore in getting you the truth. They are the 9th man screaming at the 10th man full time, and they're the ones promoting conspiracy theories that enemies of the United States are pumping up their cabooses, which is erupting out of their mouths. Folks, Helix Sleep has a quiz. It takes just 2 minutes to complete. It matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress you know will be perfect for the way you sleep. They have several different models to choose from. Soft, medium, firm mattresses. Mattresses good for cooling you down. If you sleep hot, even a Helix plus-size mattress for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz. I was matched to a dream mattress for me, the Midnight Lux. I needed something a little firm. It helps with my shoulders. I love it. My wife and I sleep like champions. Afterwards, when we get in that bed, I love it. The only downside to it, again, is you go to other beds, hotels and stuff like that, and you're like, I want my Helix mattress back. It's been awesome getting unboxing videos from so many of you who found the Helix mattress of your dreams. With Helix, the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. Listen, I don't mess around. Told you before, sleep's always an issue with me. You don't want a bad mattress. You're going to be stuck there for 8 hours a night. 8 hours a night. You better be comfortable. Don't go to a mattress store. You don't need to. Shop Helix. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz. They have a 10-year warranty. You get to try it out for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it. You will love it. Check it out. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired. They deserve it. Helix also offers exclusive discounts for military, first responders, teachers, and students. Best mattresses in the business. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners today. Go to helixsleep.com/Dan. Go today. helixsleep.com/Dan. Helix, Helix, sleep.com/Dan. Go today. You're going to love their mattress. All right. Thanks, Helix. So back to the show. Showing you how, again, not only are they not the 10th man they're supposed to be, the media, but how they're the 9th man screaming at the 10th man telling the truth. Everybody, now whenever you watch World War Z, you're going to think of this episode. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I like it, but I like zombie movies. Here is a video from, what is this from? May 1st of 2020. So what's today's date? May 24th? So about a year ago, a little over a year ago. It was a year ago today when truth tellers, 10th men out there, you, me, Tom Cotton, Tucker Carlson, and others were like, hey, you got a virus that broke out of a lab investigating coronaviruses in Wuhan? Maybe they should investigate that lab. And everybody was like, no, let's not do that. The Chinese said no. Here's what the media was saying. They not only weren't looking for an answer, they were actively making fun of people who were. This is the recount, obviously a left-leaning outlet. Here's a video they put up, the Daily Recount, where they poke fun at anybody who thought this thing could have leaked from a lab. And notice they cite the Director of National Intelligence's office under the Trump administration, showing you again that the swamp is real. But they worked under Trump. A lot of them were sabotaging him the whole time. Check this video out.
President Trump is pushing a conspiracy theory again.
Claiming that the U.S. has information that the virus originated in a Chinese laboratory, but offers no evidence.
Whether they made a mistake or did somebody do something on purpose?
What gives you a high degree of confidence that this originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
I'm not allowed to tell you that.
Just hours before that, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence put out a rare statement.
The intelligence community concurs with the wide scientific consensus that the COVID-19 virus was not man-made or genetically modified.
But it is still investigating.
The only thing that they are saying with certainty is that the virus originated in China.
Scientists said that the virus arose naturally in bats.
Top officials in the Trump administration have pushed U.S. intelligence agencies to, quote, hunt for evidence.
This is coming as the president has been ramping up attacks and blaming China more and more.
Drawing up plans to punish China over their handling of the virus.
We had the phase of downplaying the pandemic, and then we have the phase of blame shifting.
The World Health Organization, President Obama, China, the Chinese virus.
His management of this pandemic is going to be the central issue on the ballot this November, and the only way for Donald Trump to win is to somehow make this somebody else's fault.
Here's the actual tweet. I think it may still be up, by the way. Someone will have to check that out. Here's the recount. They're blue check marks, so they know more than you. Just like Coffee Boy. He's smarter than you all. He's had real jobs for a living. Ha! Just kidding. Here's the recount. Back to blame shifting he goes. Trump is pushing a conspiracy theory that COVID-19 originated in a Wuhan lab. The evidence? None, according to the DNI. People in that swamp were more than eager in the DNI's office to make Trump look like an idiot. Yet Trump was right again. And the real idiot were the coffee boys at the major media networks who've been lying to you for a year. Come on, Dan, it wasn't that bad. I mean, the fact checkers, you know the fact checkers, PolitiFact, all the other fact checkers, their job is to check facts. Surely they caught it. And now that we have this explosive story about 3 researchers in the Wuhan lab who got sick with a mystery illness right around the time the lab was investigating the coronavirus. Shocker. Now that we have the story, surely PolitiFact got it right. I mean, it is PolitiFact, and they check facts. And they definitely said, hey, guys, listen, I know we don't like Trump because PolitiFact's liberal, so are their liberal friends. But maybe we should let this lab leak theory play out. There's some evidence there. It could be right. You would be wrong, of course. Here's PolitiFact jumping in right here. Archived fact check. Maybe they want to let this one go now. Tucker Carlson guest airs debunked conspiracy theory that COVID-19 was created in a lab. Yeah. That was PolitiFact. That instead of being the 10th man, again, reverted to being the 9th man, like the coffee boy laughing at the 10th man going, hey, that lab leak theory sounds like there should have some legitimacy to that. But PolitiFact, a running joke, a disgrace. Now, PolitiFact had to update their fact check because they're a joke. It's the biggest scam in America, are fact checkers right now. It's the biggest scam in America. Here, editor's note. This is from this year, May 17th, just a few days ago. When this fact check was first published in September of 2020, PolitiFact sources included researchers who asserted the SARS-CoV-2 virus could not have been manipulated. The assertion is now more widely disputed. So then it wasn't a fact. Am I missing something? Joe? Anyone? How is it a fact if other people then disputed it? That sounds like an opinion, you morons. Just call it PolitOpinion. For that reason, we are removing this fact check from our database pending a more thorough review. Maybe do the more thorough review before you call something a fact check. Just a thought, fellas. Just a thought. Fact checkers. You take these people seriously? Please, he just said never again. Please, if you don't want to be mocked on my show and you're a leftist lunatic or a never Trump psychopath, you want to send me data that shows me an assertion we made is false, I will look at it. If you send me anything from PolitiFact, your email's going right in the garbage because I'm not getting, we're only doing facts on this show. PolitiFact is a hack op-ed section for liberal propaganda. That's it. It's a joke. It's a joke. You send me a fake book fact check, it goes right in the garbage. These are not real. They're propaganda pieces. Of course, Coffee Boys Network had a pile on. Remember this gem by Chris Cillizza, who no one's wrong more than Chris Cillizza. This guy's a laughing stock everywhere. I don't even know why I'm giving him the airtime. This guy's worse than Coffee Boy. Here's Chris Cillizza. Anthony Fauci just crushed Donald Trump's theory on the origins of the coronavirus. That was from what? May of 2020? I can see that. Gosh. That's May. What does that say? May 5th, 2020? He's always surprised at my eyesight. Listen, self-praise stinks. I get it. I know. Aunt Jane, God rest her soul, used to tell me that. But I can't hear for squat. My whole body's falling apart. The only thing left in my eyes, I can see pretty good. Fauci. So he writes a story about Fauci crushing Donald Trump's ridiculous theory on the lab leak origins of the coronavirus. Oh, here's Fauci now in a little split screen for us from Raheem Kassan's site, the National Pulse, which is a great site. He was asked, are you still confident that the coronavirus developed naturally? Anthony Fauci said, no, actually, I'm not. He's not convinced. Maybe media people who are supposed to be the 10th men with their fact-check buddies, maybe if they would have had open minds and actually been interested in looking at the actual facts behind the case, we wouldn't have them acting as full-time propagandists for the Chinese government. Just a thought, folks, that maybe that's a bad idea. Now, you may say to yourself, well, why is Joe Biden and his administration not acknowledging that Donald Trump was right the whole time when he warned us about the Trump lab leak? About when Trump warned us about the Wuhan virus lab leak. Well, Joe Biden has some suspicious ties to China. And I want to get to this Trump video again, where for, what is this? Can we keep a counter somewhere on the show? Maybe we can tick it up every day. This is the Trump was right again. Entry number 6,422. Here's Donald Trump back in the day when he was president. But what about his tweets? They're more worried about his mean tweets than covering for the Chinese government, nuclear-armed enemies of the United States, which Joe Biden's doing now. I really feel bad for you. Trump was right again. Here's Trump in a answer to a question in a press conference that was widely mocked by, the coffee boy types and others and people in the media, where Donald Trump pretty much nailed it that we should probably look into this lab leak hypothesis. And of course, everybody thought it was really funny and silly. Check this out.
Have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And I think that the World Health Organization should be ashamed of themselves because they're like the public relations agency for China. And this country pays them almost $500 million a year, and China pays them $38 million a year. And whether it's a lot or more, it doesn't matter. It's still, they shouldn't be making excuses when people make horrible mistakes, especially mistakes that are causing hundreds of thousands of people around the world to die. I think the World Health Organization should be ashamed of themselves.
We're watching this, me and Guy, full, as you see it on the, well, it's not live, the show, obviously, but when you're watching it for the first time live to tape, we're watching it too. And because Guy and Joe are like busy with production, head spinning in the morning, sometimes they don't get to pay attention to the content like I do. They're busy with the technical and logistics component. So he's watching this right there like I am. So is Joe. Joe hears it in his earpiece. And Guy's like, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Donald Trump, mean tweet guy. He has mean tweets. Told and warned the entire world that a nuclear-powered communist enemy likely unleashed from one of their labs a deadly virus that killed hundreds of thousands, and by the time it's done, will have killed millions. And everybody laughed at him. They all thought it was a big joke. Coffee Boy and others, PolitiFact, CNN, Chris Cillizza, all thought it was a big joke. He warned us about two elements in that answer, elements of this crisis. the Chinese government and the WHO. And he's been proven right on both. But he sends mean tweets. Let's let the Chinese Communist Party dominate the globe because the guy who actually put a check on China, he sends mean tweets once in a while. Fools. Fools. The people who voted this clown we have now in office. So why isn't Biden doing anything? Let me get to my last sponsor. And then the other side, well, why isn't Biden doing anything about China? Now that we have a pretty good idea, a high likelihood that this virus may have escaped from a lab in China and decimated the entire globe's economy. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Don't miss it. Our last sponsor, our good friends at Field of Greens. It's come in really handy. I've had a lot of stress the last few weeks. It's actually, these spots tie in together, don't they? Whether you know it or not. I had a tough time sleeping, got my blue blocks. No joke, didn't intend this. My Helix sleep mattress, love it. But also, you got to keep your nutrition tight. You do. You'll just get sick, especially when you're super stressed out. And last few weeks have been that way. I use Field of Greens. I love it. Used it forever. This is my original sponsor, folks. I've had them for 5 years now. Guy, you like it too, right? You have the lemon lime? Yes, he thinks it too. Folks, check this out. I show this label, the nutrition label sometimes. What is it? It's basically ground up fruits and vegetables. Here's mine right here. There it is. It tastes delicious. This is the wild berry flavor, but it's real fruits and vegetables. Some of you get confused when I show the nutrition label because I show you it says nutrition facts. And a couple of people email me and said, Dan, everything has a label that says nutrition facts. Yes, it does. But supplements, it says supplement facts, not nutrition facts. So why does this say nutrition facts, not supplement facts? Because it's not a supplement. It's real food. It's ground up essential fruits and vegetables, plus green tea, ginger, turmeric, and beets. It's real food. It's not some cheapo extract, fake fruit and vegetable, one vegetable and a bunch of filler. It's healthy, wholesome fruits and vegetables. You take a scoop of the wild berry, Guy's favorite lemon lime, or the original flavor. Throw it in whatever you want. Water. I put it in green tea. Sometimes I put it in Olivier. What are you taking? He puts it in his smoothies. My wife puts it in everything. And you just drink it, and you get your servings of fruits and vegetables. How do you get this? Go today to brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Get 15% off your first order. Don't mess with your health. Use promo code Dan at checkout. It's available in regular wild berry and now delicious lemon lime, a favorite of Guy's. brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use promo code Dan. Go today. You're going to love this stuff, I promise. Tell me what's better, wild berry or lemon lime? Wild berry, sometimes the original. Sometimes I mix and match. All right, so Trump was right again, and we have to ask ourselves serious questions. For us, forget about Coffee Boy and the media. They're not going to do, they're not the 10th man. They're the 9th man yelling at the 10th man, us. We're the 10th man our job is to disagree with big government, Republican, Democrat, or whatever. That's our job. We can't be limited government people and then just accept everything the government tells you at face value. I don't care who the president is. I don't care. That used to be the media's job. So why isn't Biden doing anything about China? And why is the Biden administration still trying to play down this lab leak hypothesis? Well, maybe because of this. You all remember this gem by Emma Jo Morris and Gabrielle Funro at the New York Post from October of last year, 2020? Emails reveal how Hunter Biden tried to cash in big on behalf of his family with a Chinese firm. You think that could have something to do with Joe Biden soft-rolling China and the lab leak thing? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but if I were a media type like Coffee Boy, I'd be looking into this, right? I mean, his show is called Reliable Sources. Man, why are you picking on him? I'm picking on all of them. He's just the worst and the dumbest. Why is no one asking these questions? Are we forgetting this story? If this was a story about the Trump team that disgraced the Attorney General up in New York, and Merrick Garland, our disgrace of an Attorney General nationally now, would have Trump arrested by now if Don Trump Jr. had done a deal with the Chinese government as his dad was soft rolling a policy on China and was kicking up money to the big guy, and the big guy was his dad, Don Trump Sr. Do we have to reread this? Yeah, we should. Here's a screenshot from the New York Post piece from a year, in case you're forgetting about this and wondering why Joe Biden may be soft-rolling this China stuff. Hunter Biden, his son, pursued lucrative deals involving China's largest private energy company, including one Hunter said would be, quote, interesting for me and my family. Emails obtained by the Post show. Are we forgetting this? Here's what one email, which Hunter Biden's, which he sent in May of 2017. It had the subject line, expectations, and it included details of a, quote, remuneration package for 6 people involved in an unspecified business adventure with China, their largest private energy company, which is a joke because there are no private companies in China. They're all intersect with the Chinese Communist Party, which wants us dead. So the son of the current president, former vice president, Hunter Biden, was doing a deal with a Chinese firm. And he quotes, in a quote, he says, yeah, my family too, cites his family too. And he also says, according to the second screenshot from this epic piece, Coffee Boy and others seem to have forgotten the media, that the deal also listed, even have copies of the email for you to see right here. It listed, quote, 10 for Jim and 10 held by H for the big guy. Neither Jim nor the big guy was identified further. The big guy was identified further later when a guy who was part of the deal, Tony Bobolinsky, came out on the Tucker Carlson show and said the big guy was Joe Biden. Where's the 10th man media on this with the big expose about the kickbacks that this guy's alleging went to the current president of the United States on a deal involving China and his son? Where is that story? Where exactly is that? Not only are we not getting anything on China from the Biden family, anything of any substance on China whatsoever, except some really prolific butt kissing by Biden and China. I mean, listen, according to some, they were in business together, right? You don't want to tick off your business partners. So who did Trump call out in the video? He called out China. Biden's doing nothing. And he called out the WHO. Not only is Biden, the WHO, which now we know covered up for the Chinese government in the early stages of the pandemic. We know that. That's a fact. You can read it in my book, Follow the Money. There's a whole chapter on it. Here's a USA Today story from January this year. Biden administration renewed support for the WHO. Says it's good news for America and the world, scientists say. Are these the same scientists who said the lab leak theory was a conspiracy theory? Are those the same ones? Are those the same experts who were supposed to be the 10th man who are really acting as the collective 9th man? I'm just wondering. We are living in a vortex of stupid right now. That is going to be really hard to escape. You know, I had a lot more today. I'm just going to wrap up on this because we do have a really, really big day today. And not that I'm ever going to shortchange the podcast, but I do want to get to this last story. And I do want to ask President Trump some of these questions too. He was right again. But I want to show you at least one more example, and I'll get to some more tomorrow on the podcast here, of liberal media, fact-checker, groupthink that's everywhere and could potentially get people killed. It's a story that creates a lot of controversy on my show because 50% of you love it and 50% of you think it's a cover-up for something. But I got to make some executive decisions. Here's another story, Washington Post, where groupthink for years was, that's a conspiracy theory. Don't bring that up. UFO sightings went from a joke to a national security worry in Washington. Now, all of a sudden, the Washington Post is picking this up, too. Ladies and gentlemen, any sane person in our United States government, if they realized we had a bunch of unidentified objects flying in the air over military installations that we couldn't identify, any sane person would have taken this as a threat seriously decades ago. I can't even imagine in my prior line of work someone coming over the radio saying, Dan, there's an unidentified object flying over the president of the United States, and me going back and saying, it's a conspiracy theory. I can't even imagine doing that. I'd be fired. But when you're in the government, which is totally incompetent, and apparently the leadership of some of our 3-letter agencies, they just thought to gaff it off for a while. Now, you'll never hear this again coming out of my mouth because the guy's a clown and a joker. But I have to actually hat tip Harry Reid, hack Democrat, Spygate, pee-pee hoaxer. But apparently Harry Reid, former senator, from the great state of Nevada. Apparently, Harry Reid was warning about these UFOs a long time ago. Here's a quote from the Wall Street Journal. I want you to listen to the first 3 words of this quote Harry Reid gave to, the Washington Post about the UFO story when he was trying to warn people in the government about it. Quote, everyone told me this would cause me nothing but trouble, said Reid, a Democrat who represented Nevada, home of the military's top secret Area 51. But Reid said, I wasn't afraid of it, and I guess time has proven me right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our job going forward, no matter what the penalties. We'll be banned from YouTube. We'll be fact-checked by the fake fact-checkers at Facebook and Twitter and all these propaganda, Soviet-type free speech crushing machines we have now that they call social media. It is our job to tell the truth. Always, no matter what, no matter the penalties. Always to tell the truth. And whenever someone says to you the first 3 words of what they told Harry Reid when he brought up the UFO, now which is a crisis, I'm not suggesting they're extraterrestrial. I don't know that. I'm suggesting we have an unidentified object flying over our military institutions. We've known about it and have done apparently very little. Whenever someone responds to you and you bring up something like that and says, quote, everyone told me, be the 10th man. Don't be the coffee boy. Thank you for tuning in and for engaging on this very long journey that has led to this point today. I really hope you listen to my radio show later and you catch President Trump. We'll play some highlights from it tomorrow on the podcast as well. The podcast isn't going anywhere. It's my first love. It's mine. It's the one thing I own. I don't own a lot, but I own this. It's not going anywhere. We will not disappoint you either. Thanks to everyone who got me here. I appreciate it. Please listen to the show later, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show.